Airport chaos erupted today in a scene that stunned even the most seasoned reporters. Thousands of screaming fans, cameras flashing like lightning, and security lines collapsing under the weight of excitement as BTS's Jin made his way through the terminal.
Why?
Because Jin is not just traveling. He is about to make history as the first Korean artist to ever appear at Gucci's prestigious Fashion Week event in Italy. The significance of this moment cannot be overstated. It is not simply about a fashion show. It is about one man breaking through cultural barriers and entering a space that very few from Asia, let alone South Korea, have ever been invited into. And yet, the question remains, how did one appearance by a single artist trigger an airport to transform into an uncontrollable sea of purple flags, tears, and chaos? Eyewitnesses described the airport as a storm of sound, with army chanting Jin's name in unison, banners flying, and security struggling to keep a clear path. Video clips quickly surfaced online showing Jin calmly waving to fans while dozens of security personnel formed a protective shield around him. The tension was palpable. Every step he took felt monumental, as if the entire K-pop industry was watching. Fans were not just there to see a celebrity off. They were witnessing a moment of cultural history being written in real time. Could this be the clearest sign yet that Jin is not just a singer, but a global cultural ambassador capable of redefining what it means to be an Asian artist on the world stage? Industry analysts have been quick to point out the weight of this invitation. Gucci's Fashion Week in Italy is considered one of the most exclusive events in the fashion calendar, attended by the world's most influential designers, editors, and celebrities. Jin's participation is more than a simple celebrity endorsement. It signals a recognition of his status as a fashion icon with the power to influence trends far beyond South Korea. His previous appearances in luxury campaigns had already placed him on the radar of fashion insiders, but this, walking into one of the most important fashion capitals, represents a milestone few thought would come so soon. What does Gucci see in Jin that warrants such a historic first? Fans argue that Jin's selection was inevitable. Known for his elegant and understated style, he has long been praised for his ability to blend sophistication with accessibility. Fashion commentators have frequently described his red carpet looks as effortlessly refined, a rare quality that bridges the gap between high fashion and mainstream appeal. His influence is measurable. Every item he wears tends to sell out within hours, a phenomenon that luxury brands have been eager to leverage. But this is more than just marketing. Jin's presence at Gucci Fashion Week is a statement that Korean artistry is no longer on the periphery of global fashion. It is at its center. The airport celebration reflected this sentiment. Fans held placards not only congratulating Jin, but thanking him for representing Korea on such a global platform. Social media exploded with messages of pride, with phrases like, "Jin is making history," and "Korea goes to Gucci," trending worldwide. Some fans even traveled from other countries just to catch a glimpse of him before his departure, underscoring the international nature of his fan base. The crowd's emotional reaction suggested that this moment was not merely about fashion, but about cultural recognition and pride. Could it be that Jin's journey is becoming a metaphor for the aspirations of millions of fans who see in him a reflection of their own dreams? Airport staff admitted to being overwhelmed by the turnout. Security measures were reportedly doubled, with additional personnel stationed along every major entry and exit point. Despite this, the energy was so intense that certain sections of the terminal had to be temporarily closed to control the flow of people. Some videos even showed airport announcement systems asking fans to remain calm, yet the excitement was too great. Witnesses described scenes of fans breaking into tears as Jin passed by, with some saying it felt like sending off a national hero. The question arises, if this is the reaction just for his departure, what kind of global storm will erupt once he steps onto the runway in Milan? Fashion insiders have hinted that Jin's role at Gucci Fashion Week may go beyond simply attending. Speculation is mounting that he could be unveiling a collaboration or even headlining a campaign during the event. If true, this would be a groundbreaking move, signaling Gucci's full embrace of Jin not only as a guest, but as a central figure in their branding strategy. This would also mark a new era where K-pop idols are no longer merely invited spectators, but active participants shaping the narrative of high fashion. Could this be the first step toward Jin becoming one of the most influential fashion icons of the decade? Observers also note the timing of this appearance. Jin's participation comes at a moment when luxury brands are aggressively seeking to expand their reach in Asia, particularly among younger consumers. His demographic influence is unmatched, a combination of dedicated fans and casual admirers who respect his artistry and charisma. This move could potentially reshape Gucci's relationship with the Asian market, giving it a cultural edge over competitors. But more importantly, it places Jin at the center of a global conversation about representation, identity, and the future of luxury fashion. As the plane carrying Jin took off, the crowd outside the airport erupted into cheers, a moment captured in countless fan videos that have already gone viral. Some fans were seen bowing, others saluting, as if this departure was not just a personal milestone but a moment of collective pride. Analysts are now predicting a surge in media coverage leading up to Fashion Week, with Jin expected to dominate headlines across fashion and entertainment outlets. Could this be the beginning of a new chapter where K-pop idols consistently headline the most prestigious fashion events in the world? The emotional weight of today's airport chaos cannot be dismissed. It was a moment that combined national pride, global recognition, and the unshakable power of fandom. Jin's journey to Italy is no longer just his own. It is a journey that millions feel personally invested in. Whether one is a fashion enthusiast, a K-pop fan, or simply an observer of cultural shifts, this story is impossible to ignore. The world is now waiting for the next scene in this unfolding drama. Jin stepping onto the Gucci runway under the flashing lights of the global fashion elite, ready to make history once again. Would you have expected a single artist's departure to create such a spectacle? And if this is just the beginning, how much bigger will the reaction be when Jin takes his place at Gucci Fashion Week and the entire world is watching? The answer may redefine not only Jin's legacy, but the relationship between global fashion and Korean pop culture for years to come. Under the weight of this historic moment, the conversation surrounding Jin's departure has only intensified. Analysts, cultural critics, and fashion insiders are now debating the long-term impact of this milestone. Jin's participation in Gucci's Fashion Week is not merely an appearance, but a recalibration of global cultural hierarchies. This single event is shifting perceptions of how Korean artists are positioned in the international luxury space. For decades, European fashion houses have selectively engaged with Asian talent, often treating them as regional representatives rather than global figures. Jin's presence challenges that narrative. He is not appearing as a token of diversity, but as a central figure commanding attention in a room of international power brokers. What does this mean for the next generation of Asian artists seeking to make similar breakthroughs? The magnitude of ARMY's response has added a psychological dimension to this event. Fans are not merely spectators, but stakeholders